Here's some more information for us. How you doing, John? Got the solid numbers there, do you?
We're at 142.
142?
142.
Okay.
Jack Begley and geologist Terry Matheson are monitoring the dig in the TOT-1 shaft as it heads deeper towards the solution channel and hopefully valuables over 200 feet underground.
So I'll take another measurement in about an hour and see what we're gaining per hour.
Great. Thanks a lot, John.
All right, thanks, guys.
There's a lot of wood coming up out of it.
There's a ton of it, my friend. We're chewing through the side of the chapel shaft.
In 1931, Melbourne Chapel, along with his father William and a treasure hunter Frederick Blair, constructed a 157-foot shaft in the money pit in a bold but unsuccessful attempt to retrieve the believed vault that William and Frederick had discovered in 1897.
If we have to push it or chase it to 215, we've got all the caisson material here we need to do that.
The fact that the team believes they're digging through the chapel shaft is an encouraging sign. But now the burning question is, once TOT-1 descends below 200 feet, will it encounter the legendary vault? Later that afternoon.
What is that?
This looks like it's part of a tool.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is an exciting moment for the Oak Island team in the money pit area.
That could be a really old tool, mate.
Yeah.
After reaching a depth of more than 160 feet in the TOT-1 shaft, which is deeper than any previous treasure hunters have ever explored, Marty Lagina and metal detection expert Gary Drayton have just made a potentially important discovery.
You can see the striations in it. Look at that. That's some old iron there.
Yeah, it is. Because we're below the chapel shaft.
Yeah, exactly.
This is good.
Yeah, that could be a really old tool, mate. I bet that's like an old pickaxe. The tip of a pickaxe, maybe? You see how it comes down?
Yeah, there's a bit of a curve like that.
Yeah.
A possible fragment of a hand-wrought pickaxe found at a depth of over 160 feet in TOT-1?
What a sweet find.
In 2019, while excavating a shaft less than 5 feet to the northeast, known as RF1,
It's an old pickaxe, a broken pickaxe.
the Oak Island team recovered part of a similar pickaxe.
That's something, man.
And just 2 weeks ago, while visiting Malta,
It's just absolutely incredible.
where the team was shown a vast network of 16th century underground tunnels with features that matched the reported original design of the money pit,
This was found below 145 feet in the ground.
historian Matthew Balzan suggested that these exact kinds of tools were used by the Knights of Malta.
Pickaxes were used in the digging of underground tunnels.
That's the beginning.
Yeah, I'll just finish this little area.
Yeah, something.
Yep.
Is it possible that Marty and Gary have just discovered another ancient tunneling tool that may help the team identify who is behind the Oak Island mystery?
That is a very old piece of a tool of some sort. It's all wrought iron.
Yeah.
Perhaps the most significant thing from TOT-1 so far is this big chunk of metal that Gary and I found. We're well out of any searcher area at that point. So what is this metal artifact doing that deep?
You feel how heavy that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's oldie.
So this thing could tell a story. It might not be the one thing we were looking for, but it could be a sort of one thing that really matters.
There comes Big Brother. I see you guys had all the fun. We got one thing worth talking about. We believe we're below the chapel shaft a little bit. Considering we're in a relatively modern shaft, this looks way out of place. Look at the hand-wrought nature of it. Hell yeah.
I know me old eye, mate. That might be depositor.
Really? That's cool.
So that's an oldie there. Can't wait to see what Carmen Legg says about that as well.
And makes me think we're on the right track.
Absolutely. Adam?
How's
everybody doing?
Hey, Billy.
Hey.
Well, let's give you a bit of an update. I think we're gonna call her for the day here.
That makes sense.
We're at about 171 feet. So it's where we wanted to be.
Great.
Tomorrow could be the day.
Yeah. So we'll see everybody in the morning, bright and early.
Yeah, I imagine.
Right and early.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Adam.
Into the solution channel we go.
Into the void.
Into the void. I have every expectation based on this location and all the history, all the narrative, all the things that have been found to date. We should be hopeful. The quicker we can go to bed, the quicker we can get up and finish this. Let's go.
All right.
We got a really good chance tomorrow.
Sounds good to me.
Well, look at here. How's everybody?
Hey, Carmen.
Good. Carmen, how are you?
How you doing?
Rick and other members of the team welcome blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg to the Oak Island lab.
This came out of what we're calling the one thing.
They are eager to have him examine the believed pickaxe that was found one day ago in the TOT1 spoils.
We have sought to find irrefutable proof of men working in the money pit at depth, and lo and behold, this item comes out.
The interesting thing about this artifact is the depth. It was really deep.
Okay.
Well, it's a fairly chunky piece, broken off from some other piece that extended this way. Also, if you look at it, you see the grains, and the grains are starting to fold on the end here. And when you beat onto it repeatedly, they do start to fold up in an S pattern like. So this was repeatedly banged onto something.
That something, could you infer that it was stone versus metal or not?
Oh, yes, it was definitely stone.
Definitely
rocks, hard ground, whatever. Emma, do you have a scan of this?
Yeah. So this is actually a cross-section of that iron piece. So there was like a crack.
Okay. So it is a tool. It could be part of a pickaxe, very heavy old pickaxe. There would have been something coming out this way because it broke off. The only time I see primitive mining tools that were this shape and this size was from the 1500s. Maybe early 1600s, but not any more modern than that.
So it was a tool that was used for tunneling?
Yeah, getting rid of rocks or smashing rocks up. It's a digging tool.
In the Oak Island laboratory, blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg has just shared his assessment that the pickaxe, recovered from more than 160 feet deep in the TOT1 shaft, could predate the discovery of the money pit by nearly 3 centuries.
So based on the composition, we got potassium, we got phosphorus, sulfur, magnesium. So based on the impurities I'm seeing here, these are indicative of, I would say, between 1500s and 1700s as well.
Wow, so it's way before the story of the money pit, 1790s.
Absolutely. This represents something very early. Tools such as this having been used in rock, the dates seem to line up with the Knights of Malta having a presence in Nova Scotia. It's all possibly confirming that this location for the TOT1 caisson is an area of original work. This could be a very important connection that needs to be followed up on. I think we may be close to treasure.
Has the team found a tool that was used in an operation to hide something of great value in the original money pit? If so, might it represent another critical clue that may connect the Knights of Malta and priceless religious treasures to the Oak Island mystery?
I mean, my big takeaway from that is the amount of work, the amount of abuse that took. So that really speaks to how much labor it took to do whatever it is they were doing. So,
Long, long time ago.
Yes.
Carmen, this is quite revealing. I love the fact that your approach, your perspective, and Emma's perspective, and Laird's perspective has come together. It's going to take all of us to do that. So, Carmen, we thank you for your participation.
Very good.
Thank you. But again, we need to get back to work. So,
yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
See you later.
See you later.
See you.
On Lot 4, located on the western side of the island.
Back to these spoils.
All righty.
You know what, mate? There's only one way to find out what is in the spoils, and that's to get the old magic wand struck up.
Peter Fernetti and metal detection expert Gary Drayden are continuing to search through a large pile of spoils that were recently removed from a mysterious rounded stone foundation located nearby on Lot 5. a foundation near the shoreline where the team has uncovered a number of potentially critical clues. These include valuable 17th century Phoenician trade beads, a mortar-like material that matches soils that have been recovered from over 100 feet deep in the money pit area, and iron tools that have been scientifically linked to the birthplace of Sir William Fipps, the 17th century English politician and naval officer who some believe buried a massive hoard of Spanish silver on Oak Island back in 1687.
Keep back on the line. I was going this direction.
Yep. Lot 5 could be an absolute integral part of telling the story on Oak Island.
That's a great signal.
Sounds good.
And it is
Right
just
there.
there.
We have a lot of artifacts that support that. And that is why we continue to look.
Let me try pinpointing it.
Okay.
Sounds great. It's this. Ooh, what we got
copper.
here? Yeah,
Copper,
it's
right?
copper, yeah. That's what it looks like, mate, a piece of copper. You can see, for some reason or other, it got broke.
Snapped, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Uh-huh.
See those rivets on
Yep.
the back? Yeah, this is, I believe, some kind of belt plate. Now, it could have been off a bag, a satchel. It could have been on a soldier or sailor's uniform. Back in the day, a lot of military forces, they used to have a lot of decorations on the uniform, and especially on the bags that they used to carry.
Okay.
A possible decorative military plate? If so, could it be connected to the iron tools that the team has found in the nearby foundation on Lot 5, and potentially offer the team more evidence of who created the feature, and perhaps buried valuables in the money pit?
There's a really good chance that there could be some military insignia or regimental numbers on this. Okay, mate, we'll put it in the bag and we'll find those answers out back at the lab.
I know that we found other military buttons and things in and around the feature itself, so if that ties in and we're able to get a regiment number, it might tell us who was there.
Yeah. Okay, mate, that's in the bag, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Emma tells us about this.
Perfect.
All right, mate, let's keep grinding and finding.
Okay.
Later that morning,
Hey, Carmen. Welcome to the lab.
Welcome back.
Hey, Jack. Gary.
All right, mate.
in the Oak Island lab, Craig and other members of the team meet with blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg. He has come to examine the mysterious copper plate that was found one day ago in the spoils from the round feature on Lot 5.
To me, this copper one looks like it's a belt plate.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, it is copper. You can see it has two little rivets on there.
Yep.
It doesn't look like a uniform curve, so it could have got bent in later years. It looks like a nameplate to me. A riveted nameplate. Have you scanned this one, Emma?
Yeah.
Earlier this morning, Emma Culligan analyzed the artifact with the Skyscan 1273 CT scanner, a device that emits non-destructive X-ray radiation in order to reveal an object's finer details. She also scanned it using the X-ray fluorescence spectrometer to identify the elements in its composition, which can help determine when it was created.
So it is a copper alloy. It's a copper alloy of copper, zinc, some iron, lead, arsenic is also in there.
The metallurgy indicates dates.
That arsenic does make it older. So the presence of arsenic as an alloying element could push the date back to the 1600s. I'm not 100% on that. However, it is in the realm of possibility because it is a metal that starts to fade out throughout the later 1700s.
That's great.
It is a potentially historic moment for the Oak Island team. According to the composition of the copper plate that was unearthed in the rounded feature on Lot 5, archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan believes that it may predate the discovery of the money pit by more than a century.
I mean, if we are saying that that is late 1600s, does it not fit in with the possibility that Fipps was on Lot 5 doing something? Fipps had discovered the Concepcion, which was a sunken treasure ship.
Yeah, seems like you're finding more artifacts to lend to that theory.
Yeah, there is definitely plausibility for it.
Many people are actually familiar with William Phipps's discovery of the Concepcion back in 1687. We know that Fipps found silver on the Concepcion, and I believe some of the treasure from the Concepcion was secreted to Oak Island.
Thanks to the research of 32nd degree Freemason Scott Clark, the Oak Island team has found a prime suspect for who may have been behind the 230-year-old mystery, Sir William Fipps. In 1687, the English politician and naval captain made 2 successful salvages of the famed Spanish treasure egg known as the Concepcion, which sank off the coast of the Dominican Republic in 1641, while carrying more than 100 tons of silver, gold, and jewels. However, after recovering more than 34 tons of the valuables during his first mission, when he returned to the wreck with the help of a Freemason named Captain Andrew Belcher, Fipps delivered less than 5 additional tons of treasure to the English crown.
I strongly believe that Belcher and his comrades were actually transferring treasure from the Concepcion to the Oak Island area.
That is remarkable.
Yeah. If he was here in the late 1600s, that's not out of the range of possibility for construction of the feature. The construction style seems hurried, and it also seems like an older style build.
If the team can prove that Sir William Fipps and Andrew Belcher are connected to the rounded feature on Lot 5, could that also explain who constructed the vault in the swamp where former landowner Anthony Graves may have discovered a cache of Spanish silver? And if so, might that also reveal who created the Eye of the Swamp as a secret calling card?
You know, to me, if this treasure is associated with Fipps, it's an odd story that's going on in Lot 5 in the swamp.
Absolutely.
To have all these significant clues, or important clues, it certainly encompasses the Sir William Phipps expeditions. But there's no smoking gun here. We don't have that yet, but finding more vaults in the swamp or on Lot 5 could be proof. There's certainly more work to be done, and that in and of itself is a little bit of the treasure.
Carmen, thank you very much. Thanks, everybody, and let's get back after it.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
Thanks.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Carmen.
The caisson's advancing pretty easily.
It
Look at that.
is.
Look how much it drops when they turn it.
Good progress.
A day of unrivaled hope and anticipation has begun on Oak Island for brothers Rick and Marty Lagina and their team.
Vanessa,
What's going on?
the pressures are starting to drop. It's definitely loose now, like we're waiting through something.
And that is because in the fabled Money Pit area, they are conducting a massive excavation that may soon reveal the answers to the 230-year-old treasure mystery.
Hey.
Hey. Hi, Rick. How you doing?
What's up?
The dig is at 95 feet.
Right on.
So about 3 feet away from that target area.
The first of many.
Yeah.
After breaking ground 1 week ago,
Nice job. You're oscillating.
under the supervision of Vanessa Lucido and her company, Rock Equipment, along with representatives from SB Canada.
This is great. Let's dig.
A 7-foot diameter steel shaft, dubbed True Believer 1, has reached a depth of nearly 100 feet and is believed, for a number of reasons, to be located within the original money pit. First, it is in this area where recent groundwater tests have revealed high traces of precious metals below the 100-foot level. Second, It is near that depth where the team has retrieved remnants of a mysterious wooden tunnel.
This looks like the vault.
And third, it is where a previous core drilling operation this year recovered possible evidence, approximately 150 feet deep, of the fabled Chapel Vault, a 7-foot-high container that was first reported by treasure hunters Frederick Blair and William Chappell back in 1897.
Really interesting. For the last 4 feet, the casing has gone in ridiculously easy.
Oh, really?
We are not oscillating. That casing is just going
dropping.
in.
It's just dropping.
Yes.
What do you think it might be?
This would either mean sand or easy, soft soil. 2, a cavity, right? Some void or something like that, that we are just installing it through.
We're still about 3.5 feet away from our very first target horizon, and that is 98.5 to 99. We hit the top of what we think might be a tunnel.
Right.
So we'll watch what the grab's bringing up and what that material is.
Yeah, that's going to be an imperative, right?
Yeah.
As the TB1 shaft advances deeper towards the possible tunnel, an 18.5-ton tool known as a hammer grab is being used to bring the spoils and hopefully evidence of man-made workings to the surface.
And at the end of the day, it's what comes out of the hole that probably tells us exactly what we're into. Patience will ultimately carry the day.
For sure.
We're approaching the depth of the tunnel. You should encounter a lot of wood if it is indeed a tunnel. There's a top, there's a bottom, there are sidewalls. So my hope is that this will be very definitive in supporting the idea that there was a tunnel at this depth.
Whenever we, the Fellowship, are watching the hammer grab, we really have high hopes that the very next scoop, every time, is going to be something hugely meaningful.
Oh, look at that.
Wood, baby.
Yeah. Well, we're at about 110, 111 feet right now, which is the very end of our first zone of interest. And that's a lot of wood we're bringing out.
And it's all short timbers, kind of like a tunnel.
Yeah. I agree, Gary. It looks like a tunnel.
Yeah, it really does. See if there's anything in that tunnel. Hey, Terry, got an interesting piece of wood, mate.
Yeah.
It's got grooves and...
Look at that. Just show it to Marty.
Oh, mate.
What do you think of that, Marty? There's an interesting...
Yeah, that's marked.
Yeah.
The Roman numeral number 3 there? Is that what that is?
This looks like a pretty distinct 3 to me. And look, we got a dowel there.
It's the same as the U-shaped structure, and it implies the same construction.
Same construction methodology for sure.
I think that's really cool. Yeah.
It's basically the oldest looking wood we've found. Could be the cribbing from the depths of the money pit.
I think we've been fairly convinced that the TB1 area is roughly the site of the original money pit. There's a lot of evidence that there is still something here. We're zeroing in on possibly finding the treasure.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hey.
Vanessa,
Add some new numbers for you guys.
what do you got?
We just took a measurement. We're at 117 with the dig.
And then what we're really chasing is the treasure vault below at 150 feet.
Is it possible that the Laginas and their team might soon be able to finally reveal the truth?
All right, keep digging.
Okay.
Full speed ahead.
We're on some.
An intense situation is developing in the money pit area.
What depth do you think the teeth are at right now?
Say 160.
Upon reaching a depth of 160 feet in the TB1 shaft, where the team hopes to encounter a concrete encased chest known as the Chapel Vault, the steel caissons have hit a mysterious obstruction.
Was she cutting through it?
She's trying to. Come on.
As eager as the team is to find out what they may have discovered, it could take some time for the caisson to breach the obstruction and allow the hammer grab to bring more spoils and potential valuables to the surface.
We want to get to depth.
So we got to get down there.
We'll get through it.
Later that afternoon,
Our pressures are dropping. So that means whatever we're cutting through is hard at first, but we're cutting right through it. So My dig is at 160 feet.
Marty Lagina has joined Rick and other members of the team in the money pit area. Now that the caisson has breached the possible obstruction, a breakthrough discovery could be just moments away.
Dig's at 160.
Yeah.
It could be the treasure vaults.
We're about to get into totally new territory.
Yep.
So the normal high intensity is heightened in this case because we're very close to the vault. Now we're thinking, hey, the next thing is going to be a handful of doubloons or something, you know, a chalice, something. We really are thinking that. You can feel it.
Are you feeling those tremors occasionally?
No.
I just did.
Feel it. That ain't good.
It's caving. Hey, stop. Fucking caving in. Holy sh**.
After more than 2 centuries of previous treasure hunting activities,
Let's go look.
which have left abandoned tunnels and backfilled shafts buried across the money pit area, the ground surrounding and beneath TB1 suddenly starts to collapse.
This is a huge deal. This is how disasters occur.
If you want to look up in there, but you can see it starting to cave.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
There's only a certain amount of iron that's supporting that very massive oscillator. And that is sitting on the ground. And if the ground is caving away, the whole thing can cave away. I am very concerned about this. This is not good.
It's 30 feet drop all the way right here.
Holy, that is huge. It's a lot of material.
Yeah.
But it suggests there's something downhole swallowing all that stuff. As I'm peering down, the situation appears somewhat grave. Something's happening underground that is taking an enormous amount of material and swallowing it. Will we be able to advance the caisson?
Let's just decide what we're gonna do.
Is this becoming unsafe to the point where we have to remove the oscillator, we have to move off of this area, which is our priority target, number 1. So there are a lot of issues going on.
Is it likely we're really gonna advance this casing? We'd like to proceed if it's safe.
We're far from quitting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to backfill that area.
Sure.
And then we're going to be monitoring, you know, every couple feet, making sure we're not having any caving. But it is setting us back a little bit. We keep losing the material. I can't guarantee we're going to keep advancing.
If that stabilizes and we knew it, we'll keep going.
Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just as the team may be closing in on answers and a fabled treasure vault, their most ambitious operation to reveal both is now in jeopardy. Will Oak Island prevail once again and keep hold of its precious secrets? Or can Rick, Marty, Craig, and their team outmaneuver a mystery that has lasted for more than 2 centuries?
There's got to be something here. We're really close to the shore in an area with a lot of history, and we know there's been a lot of activity.
Yeah.
Rick, his nephew Alex, metal detection expert Gary Drayton, and Billy Gerhardt prepare to begin excavating near the mysterious cobblestone pathway in the northern region of the swamp.
Which side are you gonna put the spoils on?
Probably over this way, I think.
Okay, mate, we'll get ready for them and count all those silver coins. Right, get ready for the spoils. Smells like treasure.
That's how you know we haven't dug here before.
Yeah.
It's important to understand the swamp. And there are some answers in there. I truly believe that. I mean, how do you deny that there are some sort of answers there that will affirm the fact that this may have been a multi-generational attempt to hide something on Oak Island?
Hold up, Bill.
See this log here?
Yeah.
And then there's a couple more here running this way. Big ones.
Yeah.
So somebody was out here doing something.
And there's the bottom. A lot of rocks there. Boulder under that wood there. Stone in there, in amongst the...
Yep, see that?
This is a lot like the cobbles from the paved area. Same kind of rock.
Yep, same kind of rock.
Which you don't really see on the beach.
Yeah, I don't know. It's quite a collection of rock, though.
Yeah.
What have we found?
Well, we don't know. There's that log embedded, what, north-south, and then there's some big timbers running east-west. Appears to be on top of it.
Right, and then also in the corner down there, there's all those rocks on top of each other. No material in between them. I remember when Dr. Spooner looked at the paved area, he said that's not common in nature.
I mean, there's a lot of questions here. Let's stand down and figure out a way to take advantage of what we might be seeing. But first, we need to see what Tom says. So.
Okay, let's stand down for now.
Stand down for now. But there's other work to do.
Yep.
As a new day begins on Oak Island, Rick is eager to have Tom examine the mysterious wood and stone feature that was uncovered just one day ago.
It's at least 14 feet, I would guess. We never really found that end, and we never really found this end. It's underneath a substantial root structure.
I don't think it was done by us or my dad. You know, to get those size logs out here, it's quite a job. You know, I can't imagine how somebody really did.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is we got rocks in a row underneath you here.
Yeah, that's almost a perfect line.
Yeah.
If you're saying that probably not your dad's and that he didn't know of it, then it makes it certainly very interesting. It's very apparent from the first log we uncovered is that it's well made. Right here. That's not a small log there. What in the heck is going on? There are two parts of the construction. There are what I call the carry logs. They are the support of the structure. And then there are what I call the platform logs, which sit on top of the carry logs. And there are multiples of those. There's one here running this way, and there's another one there running that way. And it was Alex who noticed the cobbles at the bottom of the dig, an intentional layer of cobble laid down for some purpose. I don't know its relevance to furthering our understanding of the mystery, but it's definitely quite large.
This is a mystery.
Yeah, and it's massive. I mean, this would carry a tremendous amount of weight.
I think you're right.
What do you make of it, Larry?
It's odd.
That's not sufficient.
We have enough for Dr. Spooner to make a pretty good evaluation right now.
Yeah.
I think we'd get Dr. Spooner in, and he can take the organic samples that we can date.
This is unique, but Dr. Spooner can maybe tell us exactly what happened here and what progression time. So we're done for the day.
Excellent.
Cool day, though. Interesting day.
Yeah.
A new discovery on Oak Island. It's a great day.
The following morning,
You seen anything like this before, Ian?
No, I haven't, and I haven't seen a platform like this. So I wonder how it extends back towards land.
Well, these are the platform logs. If you see here.
Oh, yeah.
So there's this one, and then there's that one.
Yep, and it looks like it keeps on going into land there.
It's almost like this is a ramp.
Yes. Right? Yeah, this is a ramp. I have no problem with that.
The amazing thing is how big this structure is. This was meant to carry extremely heavy loads or to be very stable for something very, very heavy. If you just wanted access out here, you're not doing this.
You know, for me, this is built with purpose, but to what end?
It's the first thing that we
ever have found that points directly to the eye in a structure. And we have Dr. Spooner that did work in that his cores show industrial activity way back.
This is a very puzzling feature here.
This eye of the swamp, the all-seeing eye.
In 2019, the Oak Island team investigated a mysterious circular formation in the triangle-shaped swamp where vegetation would never grow.
Wow, that is massive. That's a big boulder.
Incredibly, after draining the area and discovering a man-made formation of boulders, they dubbed it the Eye of the Swamp due to its eerie resemblance to the Masonic symbol known as the All-Seeing Eye.
This is quite a provocative site.
And after analyzing organic materials within the feature, Dr. Spooner presented the team with astonishing data about when it was likely created.
I'm very confident we're looking at 1680 to 1700 that disturbance took place.
Really interesting.
I just want to take a look at the stone at the bottom of it.
Is it possible that this wooden ramp and cobblestone feature were constructed at the same time as the Eye of the Swamp? But if so, by who and for what purpose?
This kind of stuff always intrigues me. See that rock? This little rock here was wedged between this piece of wood here and that rock.
So if we date that lowest piece of wood that's sitting right on the rocks, we know that the rocks were put there before the age of that piece of wood.
Yeah.
If this feature is the same age as the Eye of the Swamp, that lines up with the William Fipps theory.
Right.
We know that Fipps found silver on the Concepcion.
Since 2021, the team has been investigating the theory that the 17th century English treasure hunter and politician, Sir William Fipps, and his Masonic associate, Captain Andrew Belcher, buried a vast cache of treasure in the Money Pit. In 1687, at the direction of the English crown, Fipps conducted 2 salvages of the famed Spanish treasure galleon known as the Concepcion, which sank in a hurricane near the Dominican Republic in 1641. In a controversy that bewildered many, Fipps delivered less than half of the 100 tons of silver and gold that were recorded on the ship's manifest. Now, after previously finding iron tools in the round feature on Lot 5 that have been scientifically matched to the birthplace of William Fipps, could the so-called Eye of the Swamp, and perhaps these 2 additional man-made features, offer more compelling evidence that this theory is true?
I would just send these out for dating.
Oh, we're absolutely going to do that. And some of these logs are sufficient size to facilitate that.
Yeah.
The whole area seems to have some sort of reason. If you're moving through a bog, you would have to have a platform from which to work. If it were 1680 dates or thereabouts, you know, certainly one of the possible theories might be a Fipps connection.
So, we got a plan. I think we just keep pulling down this line.
Yeah, and we start finding some metals and some Bobby Dazzlers and top pocket finds.
Yes.
Hopefully.
There are still answers down there.
Yeah.
More than 4,000 miles to the east in Gozo, Malta.
It's a great entrance, eh, with the bells ringing.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it's a good omen.
Rick Lagina and other members of the team are investigating an incredible theory about the Oak Island mystery. Over the past decade, Rick, Marty, and their team have made a number of shocking discoveries that may be related to the Templar Order, such as a 14th century lead cross and numerous stone structures that could date back to as early as 1200 AD.
It's just absolutely incredible.
And incredibly, just after their arrival in Valletta, Malta 1 week ago.
Is this clay? It's grayish, bluish.
The legend tells of flood tunnels on the island.
Rick and the team saw underground tunnels that were built by the Knights of Malta in the 16th century, with a similar design to the description of the original money pit.
I did come across a similar pattern here.
They also confirmed that a mysterious button featuring a starburst pattern, and which was found 1 year ago on Oak Island, may also be connected to the Maltese order.
I think it is highly suggestive that the Knights of Malta, or an evolution of the Knights of Malta, may have had something to do with the Oak Island mystery. There's a lot of excitement about it and an imperative to follow those leads.
We're in the oldest prison in Malta, and this is a place very rich in symbolism, carvings, graffiti. But I would like, before we get in, to show you something. It's actually behind you. There's something there that you might recognize.
Oh, yeah. That four-dot cross.
A four-dot cross.
The four-dot cross is thought to represent the presence of holy relics at some point in time.
Yeah.
And that's carved on the HO stone back on Oak Island.
Discovered on the northern shore of Oak Island in 1921, the so-called HO stone was a fragment of a much larger boulder that was blown apart by searchers who mistakenly believed that it marked the location of buried treasure. The HO symbol featured a cross surrounded by 4 dots carved into it. And in recent years, the team has not only found this symbol at numerous Templar-related sites throughout Europe, including Portugal, Italy, Denmark, and the Netherlands, but have also learned that it may represent the presence of religious artifacts.
Maybe this, before being a prison, was a place to hide or, keep something that was special to the order.
The four-dot cross, it is on Oak Island. There's no getting around that. We have to follow up on this. It's incredibly important.
Right.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to Medina of Rabat, the old capital of the island.
Rick and members of the team have traveled to Medina, the one-time capital when the Knights of Malta first took control of the island nation back in the early 16th century.
We're in the Palazzo Falson.
Here, author and researcher Corian Mole has arranged to present them with new research, which he believes will further connect the Knights of Malta to the Oak Island mystery.
I couldn't feel more privileged to be here, and I couldn't be more excited.
Okay.
This is not just my presentation here, it is as much, the research team's presentation. Often we discuss that Oak Island, to some extent, was a generations game. Maybe there were multiple activities of depositing, retrieving, searching over different periods, and the finds on the island now really support that theory. Perhaps there was a real generation of a real family that sort of coordinated this thing behind the scenes. So what do we have here, right? 1187, the loss of Jerusalem, we have William de Villier, who is the second in command of the Knights Hospitaller, who were eventually known as the Knights of Malta.
Yeah.
In 1307, we have Gérard de Villiers. Gérard de Villiers, he was the master of France at the time. The master was the most powerful Knight Templar in the country at that moment. There is a written record of the treasure of the Templars leaving Paris. After the arrests in 1307, the Templars were rounded up. There were interrogations, the arrests being upon them. The leaders of the order fled. Gérard de Villiers, he escaped Paris, leading 50 horses, and set out to sea with 18 galleys, we believe. They took with them the treasure.
After serving and fighting on behalf of the Catholic Church for nearly 2 centuries, on Friday, October 13, 1307, Pope Clement V and King Philip IV of France made the stunning decision to dissolve and prosecute the Order of the Knights Templar on charges of heresy. However, some researchers believe that the actual purpose was to acquire the priceless relics that the Templars were rumored to have recovered in the Holy Land, including the golden menorah from King Solomon's temple, the Holy Grail, and the Ark of the Covenant. Treasures which the Templars may have begun transporting to Oak Island as early as 1200 AD. Although many Templars were arrested, imprisoned, and executed, some are known to have escaped, and their remaining treasures disappeared without a trace.
We have hypothesized that the Knights Templar fled to Scotland or Portugal. We don't know. What we do know is wherever we went, nothing ever was heard again from Gerard de Villiers, that is, except for his name.
Very interesting.
Everywhere the Knights landed, the name de Villiers was there. And then we find the name de Villiers again in 1522. Philippe de Villiers, in whose house we are today, he was the Grand Master of the Knights Hospitaller. In 1530, they take possession of the islands of Malta and Gozo, and we found symbols that suggest that the treasure could have been hidden here. The de Villiers line eventually produced Catherine de Villiers, who was the mother of Isaac de Razilly, the Knight of Malta that landed in La Hève in 1632.
In 1632, French naval captain and a Knight of Malta, Isaac de Razilly, commanded an expedition to North America in order to establish France's colony of Acadia, now known as Nova Scotia. For his efforts, he was appointed the title of Lieutenant General for New France. Curiously, the site that de Razilly chose for the colony's headquarters was Fort Point on the La Hève River, located only 15 miles south of Oak Island.
So we have an almost direct line of Villiers from Jerusalem to Malta, all the way to Isaac de Razilly in Nova Scotia. That brings us a story, close to home. And was this Templar secret and treasure perhaps handed over to generations of de Villiers and de Razilly?
To me, I think the most compelling part so far is the connection between these people who were in charge of the Knights Templar and the de Villiers who arrived in Nova Scotia. I mean, you've got people connected to both sides of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
The Oak Island story to me was always even more than multi-generational, it was multi-depositional. And that's what you have laid out today. I'm excited about the possibilities of what Oak Island represents. Corian provided us with some connected tissue and the framework upon which we can build. But right now, it's time to get back to Oak Island and finish the work for the year. My hope is that we can work towards the ultimate goal of really saying, with periods at the end of the sentences, not question marks, this is what happened. And if it is this story, quite remarkable.
It's a great story.
It's been a pleasure.